Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming to my channel, and please hit the like and subscribe. You're either on my channel or on my website. I appreciate you visiting. So let's dive in. So I'm going to go over just some very basic use of Ansible. So on my website, you'll see that I've got a little explanation, and actually I got a step-by-step, and you can just copy and paste. Setting up Ansible. So it's kind of a workgroup setup. I'm not using OpenLDAP or anything else, so you don't have to set that up to get it to work. I also highly suggest this being one of your first YAML files you execute, so that you can get the code ready builder and the Apple release package repo set up. But anyways, what I'm going to do right now is I got this SSH banner up here. It just creates a file right here, and then it populates it with the contents and designates that as the startup, your banner, and then it restarts the SSH service. So pretty basic stuff. So let's just copy this right off the site. Now I have a YAML directory, so I'm just going to go to my YAML directory, my home, create a file called ssh.yaml. Big fan of nano. And just paste this in. So got a white space at the top. Gonna get rid of that. You want the three dots, three dashes here. So what this means here on where it says host and it says all, that means it's going to hit all the systems in the INI file that you're going to feed to it. So you want to be careful. If you have an INI file that's got 100 systems, then and you run this, it's going to go out and execute across 100 different systems. So just a little FYI on that. Save that. Now I'm going to create my INI file. So like I said, I have an INI folder, so this is my 70 shape box, because it's .70 nano. Alright, so now then I also, for convenience, have this listed out. You don't have to copy and paste these, it's pretty basic. So there's two different ways that you can create your files. If you just want to have one big one and you're just doing a lab, this will work. Usually in production, you're going to break these out by, what they are, what the process is, or what software they're running. So, and then when you run your YAML file, remember where I said all, you can designate, just to go in into the workstations or the web servers or something. But just for the lab, I'm just going to like crap this right here, copy that, paste this in here. Of course, I need to update it, so I need to go to that IP address. So these are the remote systems that I'm going to hit. This right here is saying, hey, what account do I use to run Ansible on this other remote system? So I want it to run as me because I already set up everything. That another note on that in my setup, I have that set up right here, where it creates a service account. You want to do this on all your systems. You set the service account to not be prompted when going to sudo elevation. And then if you're using a limiter for access for SSH, you want to make sure you add the account there. Then also during the Ansible install, this is so that you don't get prompted for SSH. You can create a key and then push that key out to all your remote systems. So I pretty much got a pretty nice 1, 2, 3 setup to get you rolling. The only other thing I have down here is to re-register your system in Insight and make sure it's registered so it has access to the repos. When you first set it up and register, it's going to come as local host. So after you set your host names up, you want to re-register so it gets the correct host name. Alright, so back to my YAML. So I also included the command line that you want to run. So you can even just cut and paste that from the site. I like always running everything from my home folder. It's just a thing. Alright, so I got sudo, and then Ansible playbook, and then you want to do, don't forget the -I, by the way, that is kind of important. So INI, and what did I call my file? My 70 bucks. Now you could actually append it with .ini if you really wanted to. Then my YAML files, SSH something. So hopefully this should go out and change the SSH session on that remote system. And right now you see it's got the host name here. Welcome to RHEL 970, authorized access. So this should update when I run this. So it's going to go out, gathering facts. It just gathers basic information on the system, and then it reports back that, oh, okay, I changed 2 different things, and 4 are okay. So this is a good, healthy run from what I can tell. So now then, if I leave this, I go back, you noticed it's got what I had in my YAML file. It doesn't have the RHEL 970, so it's a perfect match to what I have in my YAML file, which I can show you. So, as you can see, it is a perfect match for what I had in my YAML file. So that's just the quick and dirty, really, on what you know Ansible's for, and like just to give you some examples. This is a YAML file I created. Make sure you're registered and everything, and your subscription. It enables Cockpit. Oh, and the reason I have those other repos installed is you need them for stuff like HTOP and BTOP. So, and maybe Nmap. I don't know. But anyway, no, I don't think Nmap. I think that's just generally available. So I always have all these installed on all my systems. So this will go install that. Oh, and Wireshark, which you reference as T-Shark. Set up my syslog file, make sure it exists. This sends my syslog files over to my Splunk server. If you're going to try to do this, our system, your SE Linux is going to stop this from happening. So I've got some SE Linux commands in here that are going to change and tag that traffic so it'll allow it. Restart the syslog. Oh, hey, it looks like it does it twice, so I need to update that. Looks like it's restarting the service twice, which is fine, but redundant. So over here, I use Duplicati for my backups. So this actually installs container tools and make sure that hold on, let me see. Test ensure Podman is installed, Podman present. If it's not, it's going to install container tools. Then goes ahead and downloads, installs, setup, and mounts the /mnt path to Duplicati. So sets firewall rules, etc. So pretty much just spins up a container, and then that container looks like this if it's up and running. So you can actually, it's all web-based. It's totally awesome. So then from there you can actually go ahead and run your backups. Another cool thing about this software is it allows you to back up to OneDrive or Google Drive or something like that. So it's not just move it from here to there. I mean, it's a little bit more advanced than that. So I really like it. All right, so you got your Ansible install and setup in the first 2 or 3 buttons here. You got how to execute your commands. Oh, also, I just did this earlier. If you want to run it on the actual local system that you have Ansible installed, you just change, I'll show you here. See where it says all? Just change that to localhost. So you just change that to localhost, and then instead of having the inventory file referenced, you just remove that. So then all you would have to do is just run this right here. So that was kind of cool. So we got different commands, got some setup files, some test YAML files for you to play with that have been tested, and your IronI files and how to set them up and utilize them. So just a real bait. The reason I'm doing this video is I had no idea. I heard people talking about it all the time, and I thought it was this big, huge monster. It's not. It's just a basic application that is seriously powerful. The other question would be is, can you use it on Windows? Well, you can install it on the Windows subsystem for Linux on Ubuntu on top of Windows, but it's definitely a Linux application. And then if you create a ticket, a Kerberos ticket, then, and I've actually done this, you can actually use your Kerberos ticket on the Ansible server for authentication pass through into a Windows box, and then at that point in time, you're actually executing WinRM PowerShell instead of SSH. So I've actually set that all up and labbed that all out, and it definitely does work. So you can use Ansible in a Windows environment with no problem, but it has to run on Linux or Windows some system for Linux, which is available on all Windows servers. And I think it's available on workstations. I'm not sure, but I think it's available on workstation. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in and watching my little video on just, what the very basics of what Ansible does. And I hope you got some a little bit of education out of it. All right.